Well, we're back.
Hi, Zach.
Hello, Ewan. How are you?
I'm doing quite well, thank you, Zach. Yeah, I'm a bit under the weather right now, which is why I'm on
Oh,
Zoom. For no other reason I'm on Zoom. That's all.
mm-mm. That is
Not
the only reason is because he is highly infectious, and I don't want to
yes,
get anywhere near him. So
really, really far apart to make sure you're okay.
he's like, well, a lot has happened in our lives since the last time we recorded an episode,
Yep.
and it's actually wild when you think about it. The amount of things that have changed since last time. So, Ewan, what's going on with your life, buddy? Why are we on Zoom? What is going on here?
Yeah, I'm not actually sick. As surprising as that might be, I did lie. I'm like, I did tell a mistruth. No, I'm on Zoom because I am not in the same country as Zach anymore. I have moved countries to a faraway land, a better land, some would say.
Well, that's questionable.
Okay, 50% of this podcast thinks it's better than
Yeah.
uh, it's good. No, I've moved to Scotland. I have moved back home to Scotland, and I'm sad about it and happy about it all at the same sweet time.
Yeah, me too. Me too as well. I'm sad that you've gone, but I'm happy that you're pursuing your career and new opportunities, new adventures. That's
Amen.
awesome.
Yep. I had to go because they needed a new first minister up here, and I said, "I'll do it. Don't even worry about it, guys. I got this." So I came up here to replace Nikki Surgeon. Uh, as she gets indicted for something. I don't know. I don't watch the news. But no, I'm up here. I've got a job up here, Zach, which is pretty fun. I've been
Mhm.
doing it for months now, and I still feel like an idiot, which is good.
Well, what are,
I got,
what are you doing? What is this job?
yeah, I am just. Oh, actually, I just got my nods today, so it's permanent. So that's good. I get to stay
No
here.
way.
I'll be working with submarines and working with destroyers and working with ships, I guess, to test their vibration and noise capabilities and help assist them to make them better, to not
Oh,
make them worse, which is an important thing I've heard, to give them confidence in their vibration abilities or lack of that kind of stuff. So I get to, hang about ships and do Navy stuff, which is pretty sweet.
that does sound awesome. And thankfully, that description also aligns quite nicely with what I've been telling people. So it's nice that I haven't been lying to people going, yeah, he's doing this, but actually he's not.
It'd be
Um,
great if it was just something completely opposite. Yeah, yeah, I'm now in finance. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. He's just an accountant. Why he had to go to Scotland, don't know. But he's an
Just for
accountant.
he just really wanted to go home. I don't know. Weird.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We start a podcast and suddenly he needs to leave.
Suddenly, it took a year.
Oh, I know. It's
Yes,
but
I admit I had to leave the sunny land of Guildford. Also, I got home from, well, I came back up home from Guildford, and for 4 weeks straight, it rained.
classic.
And I was
Classic.
like, that's so like an honest, like a stereotypical. It's like almost terrifying how Scotland's spiting me at this point for leaving.
That's hilarious.
It's
That's
awful. But no,
hilarious.
it's been good. It's been a fun move. It's quite nice. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's been a lot of change. I'm getting a flat in Edinburgh, which is gonna be fun.
Amazing.
I was saying to Zach before we hit record, between the knee fondling conversation and record,
Yeah.
we I'm in my old childhood room, which is now a storage closet because my parents hate me. It's just very sad to see. I literally came back. I'm in my sister's room, which is even sadder. I'm surrounded by girl stuff.
Oh, girl stuff. No, I'm surprised you haven't got cooties. Maybe you are infectious.
Maybe I am infectious. It wouldn't surprise. Also, I don't know how you survive because you live at home, Zach. You don't live on
Mm.
your own. I
Mm.
don't know if I can survive it, man. I'm killing myself.
Oh, mate. Well, you get on with it. No, I can't even pretend. I love living at home.
I
I
can't
really
bear it.
do.
I mean, I've still got around parents are great. Love mom and dad, and it's cool. And you get food and stuff like that, which is great. So there's
Mhm.
nothing bad with it, but I am slowly going insane. Less so the slowly part. Definitely the insane part. I got to get
Sure.
out of here. You've got to save me, man.
I'll come airlift you out of Scotland, bring you back to Guildford. How about that?
Oh, thanks, honey. I'd love that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Can I stay with you?
sure.
Yes, I can said that. Just like, yeah, I'm not gonna check. That's fine.
Yeah, it's all right. Sounds good to me.
Dog has a bed. I'll sleep with dog.
She does have a bed, and there is occasionally space. So,
Occasionally space.
well, sometimes what she'll do is she'll like ruffle up her blanket into the corner of her bed and then only sleep in the corner. So then there's like a little bit of space left. So,
Do you know what? Weirdly, I do the same thing when I sleep in my bed. I sometimes just sleep right in the very edge of the bed, and I don't know why I do that.
you just like to flirt with danger. You might fall out, you might not.
Danger written all over me, buddy. Yeah, I do it. Not, I don't know why I do that. I always sleep right in the corner. I don't know why. I just
That's
realized that.
really funny.
Don't curl up like she does, though. Yes,
Oh,
so
you
that's
daredevil, you.
my. I am a daredevil. What can I say? Yes,
Mm.
but that's my life. That's my new stuff. What about you, Zach? Has anything changed in your life? Anything different in your life?
Yeah, a couple things have happened, have changed, which is awesome. I got myself a lady, which is fun.
As soon as I,
Um,
as soon as I leave,
yes, as
is
soon as
it
you leave. Well, I
available?
needed someone to fill the void that you left, you know. So
Try to
try
fill the.
to fill the void. Yes, of course, of course. But yeah, got myself a lady. Life's great.
Tell us
Um,
about how did you meet her? Who is she? What does she do? Maybe don't reveal her identity to our thousands of millions of fans. That'd be a bad
yes.
mistake. But no.
Yes, because then she would get famous and eclipse the whole podcast, and then it would be like, "What are we doing here?" You know.
Well, but
Um,
she listens to the podcast, so she wouldn't know why she's famous.
yeah, suddenly she'll be getting all this fan mail. It's like, where is this coming from? But yes, her name is Sophie, and we've been going out for about 3 months. And yeah, she's an actress, singer, dancer, musical theater person.
Wow,
Um,
you can do none of those things, Zach.
I
She's better.
can literally do none of those things. So it's perfect, you know, it's like yin and yang.
I bet.
Um,
Well, you say that because I bet she would be great on a podcast. So she can do all the things you could do, and you could do none of the things she can do.
yeah. Well, this is the thing we did when I was. She's currently in the Isle of Wight performing at Black Gang Chine, which
That
is a nice theme park over there, which is actually pretty cool. But I was
you
over
got.
there recently, and
Yeah.
we were going to visit a castle, and she recorded like a spoof impression of me, like going like, "Oh, and we're here at Carisbrooke Castle," and I was like, "Dude, you're coming for my job now. You literally can do everything I can do. What? Why am I here?"
Is it your other podcast, Pretend Wisdom podcast plug? Is that one she was trying to imitate? No, was it not? What is it called? That's what was it called?
Pretend wisdom is this one.
That's the one.
It's this
Present
one.
Minster. I plugged the wrong. I plugged this podcast.
Yeah, you plugged this podcast on this podcast.
Someone's gonna pause this and go. That sounds like a good podcast. Oh,
Yeah. I wonder whether I can find it. Oh, it's
it's like
this. Oh,
better than this
okay.
podcast. Oh, it's not.
Yeah, she was taking the mick out of one of the videos or a couple of the videos that I've made of like,
That's
I'm here at whatever. And she was really good at it. And I was kind of like, this is insane. But
I mean,
she's
it was her
fantastic.
job, isn't it, to mimic and act.
That is literally her job. So
Yeah.
um yeah. So yeah, no, she's fantastic. So that's really awesome. Life's great. And other stuff is going on with work and stuff like that. I recently spoke at Chalk Valley History Festival.
Oh,
Um,
I've heard a lot of buzz about that. I was hearing about that through the grapevine about you
oh,
speaking at Rock Valley History Festival. A lot of people mentioned it to me and said, "Yeah, you know that guy who does the podcast with you." People up here who've never met you were like,
yeah,
"You know that guy who does the podcast? We heard he was talking at the History Festival. How did it go?"
that's insane, and I do not believe you for a second. Um, it went really well. I thoroughly enjoyed it. You know, once I finished my talk, I was like, I just want to do that again. I just want to go again. Let me do another talk. Let's go. Um,
I
but
get
yeah,
this.
so it was really fun.
It's interesting. I used to do public speaking when I was a little lad. Well, when I was
Mm,
like late teens. I used to love public speaking, but before I went on, I'd always get quite nervous,
mm.
and I would get a bit afraid. And then as soon as I was done, I'd always be like, "Oh, round two, let's go, come on, yes!" I had that pump, you know.
Exactly, exactly. My weirdly, I've been doing a little more public speaking recently, and weirdly, it's always the same kind of process. I'll be sitting there waiting for my name to be called or me to go up or whatever, and then suddenly it will catch me by surprise because they'll be like, "Oh, and Zachary Peatling." I'm like, "Whoa, hang on. Yep, no, I am doing this. Hang on."
Oh,
Yeah, it
I
will
like
it will catch me
it.
by surprise, and suddenly I'm like, "Oh, now I need to talk now." Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
I get the exact same way. No matter how often I do it, no matter how big the crowd I'm doing it in front of or how small it is, to tens of millions or just one, uh, I always get the same way where I'm like, for the hours and days and weeks before I'm doing it, I'm like, fine, yeah, who cares? It's fine.
yeah,
I know what I'm doing. It's fine. It's all good. And then literally the second before, my brain goes, maybe I can do this. I'm
yeah,
sure for that thing.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm like, ah.
Yeah, no, it's classic. But yeah, that's been happening and yeah, life's good at the moment. So yeah, I
It's
can't
fun.
complain. Can't
Hey,
complain.
would you like to join me in a little glass of whiskey?
Mate, it wouldn't be the podcast if we didn't. Let's do it. Let's do
Yes.
it.
Well, we can't have the same whiskey, which is kind of sad, but also it means we get to have twice the whiskey, so that's also quite good.
There you go. There you go.
Ooh. Do you want to start us
What?
off, Sam? You go.
Okay, yeah. So I think I'm going to go for my favorite whiskey on the planet.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
And
quite cool. Oh,
this is a bold, bold claim, but I think it has to be up there with
if you pull it
my
Jack Daniels, I'm going to sign off right now.
yeah, I'm just yeah,
Let me
just
get my
whip
sticks.
out Tennessee Honey Jack Daniels. It is Highland Park Viking Scars. It is my favorite whiskey on the planet. I cannot lie to you.
Well done. That is a great whiskey. I have been to that distillery. I went on a school trip to that distillery in Orkney. Funnily enough, I've actually been to two distilleries on a school trip, which is slightly concerning. But no, it's a very good distillery, very good whiskey, and that edition is a very good edition. I'm a big fan, big fan.
I love it, and the bottle is awesome. I don't know whether you can see on there. Yeah, there you go.
I can see
Got the
Wassel. It's got the blue. It's
3D
the
3D
yeah,
embossing on there, dude. It's just
bottom. Good word.
yeah, it's just the best. It's just the best.
For
So
some reason, I was thinking of the word embalming. That's not the right word. It's
embalming,
embossing,
well,
right?
slightly different.
The wrapping it in mummification.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh my gosh. Yeah, let's embalm some whiskey. That could be an episode. We'll embalm some
I want to
whiskey.
hear the. I want to hear.
Yeah. Oh, that was very unsatisfying.
I
Should we try
heard
again?
literally nothing. That was
I don't
awful.
think it made an actual sound.
A
Hang on.
little bit.
Yeah.
Didn't hear it. Didn't hear it. I
No.
didn't think it breached the
I
microphone.
mean, I barely heard it as well, so I don't think it did anything. So what are you going for?
I'm going for a classic that we've had before because I
Uh-huh.
haven't updated my collection much because I'm not here. I have bought a new bottle of whiskey that I will actually get and show you because it is a very
Okay.
special. But it's not the one I'm going to drink. So let me show you the one I'm going to drink first. You didn't see that.
I
Uh,
didn't. I didn't see anything.
Glendronach, the,
Oh, I love.
the red box one for people who've seen it before. It's a lovely, spicy, almost Christmassy whiskey that almost everyone I ask says this is their favorite whiskey, including people at the whiskey shop. So that's a good sign. So I'll be having this, and this is hopefully this will get a bit of ASMR. Yeah,
Ooh. I had a little bit.
right. Let me try to do a bit. Hang on.
Try again, try again.
Anything?
Nothing.
Okay. Well,
It's all right.
microphones don't like ASMR apparently, so I'm
We
gonna
will
put.
find a way to make the whiskey ASMR come back. Maybe I'll just put it over in in the editing process. Just make it super loud.
Yeah, but it's super loud and also out of sync. Like 4 seconds.
Yeah, okay, I'll do that. I'll do that.
So when everyone's like, "What the hell was that?" Now they know it was us just having a
Exactly.
little bit of goof. But I did go to a lovely distillery called Glen Kinchie. You ever heard of Glen Kinchie?
I have not.
So Glen Kinchie is a distillery near Edinburgh. It is owned by it's owned by Johnny Walker brand and therefore Diageo
Ah,
family. So Johnny Walker takes 90% of what these guys make and puts it into their blend, essentially. So Johnny Walker, a blended whiskey made up of about 12 different single malts together, which makes its individual taste. But Glenkinchie is one of those. It's one of the one of the biggest ones in their blend. And they are allowed to sell the 10% that they get as single malt that they get
Oh
to keep.
wow.
So you get 10% of it. That's very rare. So I went to the distillery with my friends, had a little tour around, got a lot of whiskey. Like I got given a lot of whiskey. It was really bad. I couldn't to get a taxi home. It was really bad. But so they had like an event on, so we got some free samples when we walked in, did the tour, got 5 more free samples, got to draw our own cask and got a free sample of
Oh,
that as
cool.
well. And then I got 2 more free samples as I walked out the door. It was I couldn't feel my face for 3 days.
Dude, that's a lot of whiskey, man.
But when I was there, they have a one-off special cask that they will randomly select, right?
Hmm.
Oh, well, they'll randomly select it. They'll pick it with a lot of care, but they'll pick it and they'll pull it out and put it in the shop that's there. And you can go to that barrel and pull your own bottle of whiskey that you can only buy there and then for that
Oh,
limited time. And because you're buying it at the shop, it's not been taxed yet. So I bought it directly from them rather than from a shop or anything else like that.
yeah.
So I got to sign the label, I got to sign the tax warrant, I got to sign the tax brief. And this is my lovely bottle that I
No
got.
way.
This is it. It is a 8-year-old cask strength. So this thing is 55% strong. Red
Wow.
wine finish with a bourbon twist. And it's
Gosh. That looks incredible.
I got my signature on it as my writing. This is the second bottle that will ever
No
be
way.
produced. And I got it custom engraved as well.
Oh, dude, that's so cool.
So
And
on
that's the
my
kind of bottle that you can just keep as well. Like, that's awesome.
exactly. So I'll drink this on my deathbed, I think.
Yeah, that, I mean, sounds great to me.
It has my friends were there with me and I don't know why I said to them, "Do you guys want to engrave this for me?" I don't know why that and they went, "Yes." So they put not my best idea dash Euan.
Incredible.
So my one-off bottle is now sullied forever.
I mean, friends have to do that. What are friends for, you know?
Exactly. You know, you would do
Mm,
nothing less. I would do
yes,
nothing less. You would do nothing. It's just the way it is.
it is
But
the way it should be done.
exactly. So it's a very special bottle. I thought I'd show you that
Mm.
because I
Oh,
thought
it
you'd
sounds
appreciate
fun. It looks fantastic. I love it.
it. Oh, sorry. Did I say 8 years? It's 12 years old. Sorry, I beg your pardon. It's 12
Oh,
years.
wow.
It does look very red. It's like a dark crimson almost. It's very big fan of
Oh,
that. Go on the video, people who are listening, so you can see it. I'll show it again. There you go.
there you
Done.
go. Look at that. It's a lovely color. I a couple of nights ago, I had a glass of the Glen Scotia
Oh,
double cask
the podcast.
rum finish. Yeah, it wasn't even on the podcast. You know what it was? I sat down and I was like, you know what I'm in the mood for? Watching Agatha Christie Poirot with a glass of whiskey. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it.
Forgot you
So
were
I said,
6 years old.
yeah, well, you know, I am an old man. I just am. But I poured myself a glass of Glen Scotia, and it shocked me again at the color. It's so
Mm,
light.
so pale.
I'd
So
forgotten. I'd forgotten how pale it was, but
it's
oh,
it's not 12 years old. That's like 8 years old, which is still quite old, but
yeah, I have
it's
it.
you got it there. Oh, there you got it
Yeah,
there.
I've got it here.
But it's because it's finished in a rum
Look
cask.
at
You don't get, oh, you've got through that, mate. Oh my goodness. Oh, very well
that.
done. But yeah, it looks like pee. Yeah.
That's a glowing recommendation if I ever heard one.
The
Glen
best, the
Scotia
best
double
whiskey
cask looks like pee.
it tastes like it too. No, 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 no.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
No, it's a really
whoa.
nice vanilla like creaminess. That one, it's great, isn't it?
It was really good.
So yeah,
I think you actually gave me this one.
that was a gift to you from me.
Yes.
A sort of half-assed gift where I can't take this home. I'll give it to Zach.
Yeah, I was grateful to receive it in whatever manner it came.
Hey buddy, cheers.
Cheers,
Click,
buddy.
click cameras.
Cheers. Right there. There you go.
Wait, just do that again.
There you go. Oh, look at that. That looks so much. I'll just do the rest of the podcast like this. Hang on. There you
You
go.
see the image?
That was incredible. That was incredible.
Big fan of
Oh, delightful. Delightful. Oh, mate, there's something massive coming on the horizon.
that. Oh, is there? The sun? That
The
usually comes up on the horizon.
that
Hey.
that as well. The Rugby World Cup is just
Ah,
around the corner.
so excited and terrified and
Yeah.
nervous and upset and happy all at the same time. Zach, how are you feeling about it?
Basically, exactly what you said. It's a tough time to be an England fan. Um, but there's a part of me. Sorry.
Why is that? Why is it hard to be an England fan right now? Tell me.
Okay, well, here goes the tale of England's rugby woes. We got a new coach 4 months out from a World Cup at the end of a 4 year cycle. Eddie Jones had flopped by the end, and Steve Borthwick came in. And it's never an easy feat to try and get a whole new team together to get ready for a World Cup in 4 months with a new coach, new staff, new techniques, new all that kind of stuff. And we're seeing the results of that basically. We're quite an incoherent group at the moment. We're not gelling very well. It looks like we're trying to go back to basics, but even the basics aren't really working. And we're trying to figure out who our best players are, but we're not calling up some of the best players in the country. And we're losing, basically.
It's pretty funny to watch as a Scotland fan. I must say it
Yeah.
was great, but it is also very confusing because go back 6 years ago, England were like a dominant force, probably like up there with Ireland to win the Six Nations most years, and France then came up and it was between the 3 years, and the rest of us and Italy and Wales are kind of lagging in the back, and then England just sort of like made a couple tactical errors, made a few decisions badly here and there. Scotland got a lot better and we started winning, but then England just started sucking a lot
Yeah, really
very
bad.
quickly within 2 years or so. Like going from struggling a bit to just being absolutely dreadful, and it is weird to see them make so many weird decisions that they're sort of can't. They're not very good at anything now, which is very strange because they've always been good at stuff, but now they're good
Yeah.
at nothing, which is very strange to see. And but great, I'm not complaining.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. I mean, yeah, like you say, when you think about it, 4 years ago, we were in the World Cup final. 5 years ago, or 6 years ago, we were coming on to the end of a 26 game winning streak.
Oh my
And
goodness, you were.
like that, the glory days of English rugby for the first time since like 2003. And then as soon as that World Cup final finishes, it feels like we've never recovered, basically.
Yeah.
Um, and you know, you try to trust the process because you're like, no, Eddie knows what he's doing. We always suck before the World Cup. And last time we sucked before the World Cup, we got to the final. Surely he knows what he's doing. But then it just got worse and worse and worse. We got trounced by South Africa. We lost a series to Australia. It's just not a good time to be English. And then we came fourth for two. I think it was two Six Nations in a row. We came fourth or fifth. It's like that's
That's wow. That is
unacceptable.
awful. For an English team as well. Have you ever heard is it San Francisco 49ers, the American basketball team? Have you ever
Okay.
heard about the process?
No.
This will give you hope. I'm going to tell you a fun story here. This is going to give you hope. So,
Okay.
49ers are a NBA basketball team from the United States and
Hmm.
America. And they were, do you know much about the NBA basketball draft?
I know bits and pieces, yeah.
Do you know where the best and worst places to be are on the draft?
Best is like first round draft pick.
And
Um,
worst.
Worst probably like I don't know. I'm gonna go either in the middle or somewhere right at the end.
You're a clever boy, Zach. The middle is the worst place you can be, right? So the way
Mm.
it works is in America, the person who performs the worst gets the first pick. in the draft.
Right.
So you get first pick at the best player. And usually they can't afford the best player, but they get their first pick at a good player they can afford, basically, right? And the person who did best gets the last pick in the first round of the draft, right? But the 49ers, for consistent about 10 years in a row, were right slap bang in the middle. So you don't get your favorite, you don't get your worst, you just get average and you stay exactly where you are. So this new GM came in, a general manager called Steve Bannon. No relation to the politician criminal Steve Bannon.
Mhm.
And he decided to do this thing called the process, right? And he decided for about 3 or 4 years straight to just gut the team. If you played a good game, transferred. If you were, in any way, shape, or form, looking like you were a good basketball player, transferred off. Get in the bad players. Make everyone come in who's just awful. All in the hopes that in 4 or 5 years' time, when they sunk down the order, they'd get a good round of the draft.
Ah,
But for the fans watching this, it was the worst thing you could ever
yeah.
experience because your team was purposely sucking. Anyone who had promise of hope or goodness was just kicked off the team within 2 weeks and sold off for scraps, right? So this goes on for years and years and years. And then the GM, Steve Bannon, gets fired for
Okay.
being so awful. But the same year, they get the fourth round pick. So they're fourth position to get a pick out of like 20 or 30. So they're really up front. And with their fourth round pick, they pick this wild card nobody's ever heard of called Joel Embiid. He's a
Ah,
good player. You've probably heard of him because he's very famous right now.
he's very good.
He was a nobody who grew up in like Costa Rica or something. He's this
Ah,
7'5" tall guy, never played basketball before, started playing in college just for fun and turned out to be really, really good at it. And they, for some reason, against everyone's expectations, picked this random guy once they had the chance. And everyone was like, "What are you doing?" Ah! So finally he gets on the court and everyone's like, "All right, let's see what he's got." Instantly gets injured. He's out for another year. And so another year of pain goes in. And then something happens. He starts to play and he's freaking amazing. He's so good, and he's got like this amazing combination of being a really tall guy, but somehow manages also to be like really really good in his feet. So he's quite like mobile, and he just wipes the floor with everybody, and they get to the World Championship Series the next year after that, and so they nickname Joel Embiid the Process. It's pretty sweet.
wow.
So there is
Oh.
hope yet, young Zachary, that maybe England's got a long game in mind of 5 years' time of getting Joel Embiid into play.
I mean, to be fair, Joel Embiid playing in the England rugby team couldn't make us any worse than we are now. So,
At least funny.
um, yeah, it would be hilarious. But when you look at the statistics as well, right?
Okay.
The last time that we were really, really bad coming into the World Cup and we lost our opening group stage game was 2007. We got to the
Oh,
World Cup final in 2007. So,
no.
what I'm saying is,
From
we
the
might
Ash.
get to the World Cup final this year.
Uh-huh.
Just
But you
fluke
had
it.
good players back then. You don't have good players this year. You've got Farrell, who's supposed to get banned for 7 years or something at this point. I don't know what it is. And then a lot of other guys are getting banned, and a lot of guys who can't play, and a lot of guys are injured and things, and a lot of new guys.
Yes, that is true. And we still had like Johnny Wilkinson and all those
Um,
people back in 2007. So,
Zach, why is Farrell not banned?
well, see, this is the thing, right? The rugby powers that be decided that what we needed was not only what a TMO, but we needed a bunker review system that would take like 8 minutes
Yeah.
to review a call while the match is happening. So that's what happened. Owen Farrell did a high tackle, which no one can argue
Well,
with. It was a high tackle.
I would say not a high tackle, a shoulder and a face, which is very different. A high tackle is
Sure.
you kind of got around the shoulders, maybe it slipped up to the neck. This was a no arms, shoulder to the face. And
Okay,
knocked the
so
guy out.
Owen Farrell shoulder barged a guy's face.
Yes,
And
you get the card somehow.
yeah, and no one can argue with that. It's just obvious. He gets a
Yeah,
yellow card in game because they're going to send it to the bunker review system. So he gets sent off. He's sitting there. The bunker review system decides, yep, we're upgrading it to a red card because Owen Farrell was an
guy in the
absolute
face.
mug and he shoulder barged a guy in the face. Yeah. So the bunker review system, which is the brand new review board that they've got in, decides that. A couple of days after the match ends, um, the another review board basically reviews the decision, interviews Owen Farrell and some of the other players, and decide that because Jamie George was tackling the player that Owen Farrell shoulder barged, that meant that there were mitigating circumstances. So they decreased the red card down back to a yellow card. So Owen Farrell's no longer banned for 3 games, which would mean that he'd missed the first game of the World Cup. So
6 games, isn't it? Is the ban like?
yeah. And so this is the thing, right? That gets reviewed. And in their statement, right, they're like, yeah, we totally respect the bunker review system and the process that we've got in, but we just don't think they were right. And then a couple of days later, guess what happens? World Rugby itself decides to step up and go, we really respect the bunker review system and the external review board system, but we think that they were wrong. So now we're appealing the red card again to try and get Owen Farrell a red card, which then carries a really, really bad penalty, which could mean that he could miss the majority of the World Cup.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at now, and we're waiting for the verdict to see what they decide as to whether or not he's going to be banned.
I can't believe it because this is not the first time this has happened. There's a lot of
dude. He's done it like 6 times.
It's called the Farrell tackle. That's his tackle. It's awful.
Insane.
But there's also we're gonna put. I say we. Zach's gonna put a picture of the contact here right now, and they looked at that which you're looking at right now and went, maybe that's not a red card. It's insane to me that they somehow tried to let him off. I feel awful for the English squad who have to go through this roller coaster, but also means Farrell's not going to be at World Cup, and that's a good thing because I don't like him.
Well, this is the problem, is that in one way I feel like we'd be better off just putting him to bed, and George Ford, Marcus Smith, they can figure it out. Maybe we'll get in a different player, maybe a new chance for Danny Cipriani to make a return.
Oh, wow.
I miss that guy. What a throwback. But a part of me thinks that. But then when you look at it and you watch the game that Owen Farrell didn't play, and there's no structure, there's no leadership, you're missing the kind of hinge that everything is attached to. And unfortunately, we have created the situation where that is Owen Farrell for our team.
This is where you need Joel Embiid. You need to have a few years of sucking. Because if you keep doing this, what you're doing, which is trying to kind of claw your way back up again, you're going to just sit where you are for years until something happens beyond your control. But what you need is just to let go, have a deep breath, and then go, let's just try this again from the ground up rather than sort of trying to be where Farrell was a minute ago,
Well, this is the problem and this is why I'm still kind of baffled by the decision of the RFU. Is like, why don't you just let Eddie take us to this World Cup? We will flop. We will be awful.
Yeah.
Because Eddie was not doing well. But finish this cycle as soon as the World Cup ends, then get rid of him, and then bring in Steve Borthwick, and you've got a whole 4-year process to get you to the next World Cup. That just makes more sense to me, right?
Yeah.
Instead of like rushing it. I don't get it. I don't get
Hey, well, you know what? Now they've heard our commentary on the matter, they're going to be rethinking everything. I think they're going to be solved now. Now that they've heard this.
Exactly. Problem solved now. I don't know what their problem is.
Do you want to do a little bit of a World Cup predicting?
Oh,
Should
okay,
we
yeah.
try and get to the final together?
Okay, yeah.
So let's bring up the groups. Do you have it on
Okay.
you there?
I
And we're
can
going
grab
to get
them.
the top two who's going to get out of each. Who's going to go head to head in the semis and the quarters, and then who's going to get to the final? We're going to do this right now.
So we're going to try and predict the World Cup.
Yes.
Who's gonna win it? So pool
This is the
stages.
yeah, this is the official Pretend Wisdom Rugby World Cup 2023 predictor, which basically means this is as good as gospel. This is
Yes.
going to happen.
Yes, this is exactly what is going to play out over the next few months of the Rugby World Cup. So,
Yeah.
Group A, we
Mhm.
have New Zealand,
Good job.
France, Italy,
Mm.
Uruguay, and Namibia. I'm excited about this group, to be honest.
That is a good group because, so let's say France are the hosts. For those who don't know, France are the hosts, and the first game is against New Zealand, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And which is they used to be top team in the entire world for about 100 years straight. They're still pretty good. The number three, they've slipped a bit, but they're still amazing. You don't count them out. So France, who are the favourites really going in, or one of the favourites going in, because it's their home advantage. They've got a really strong team against one of the best teams ever. That's gonna be a great game. But I reckon France are gonna take that. So France are gonna win
Really?
against New Zealand. Uh,
Okay.
so I think they're gonna come up
Okay.
top of that group. Is what I think. What do you think, Zach?
That's a bold claim. Yeah, I think the deciding match is New Zealand versus France. So I think the group will be decided on the first day of the World Cup, basically.
Which is sad
So
because you've got three other teams there who, as much as I love those three other teams, they've got no hope.
no, I mean Italy, they were looking pretty good. They got a good win over Wales, a good win over Australia.
Coming up in the world.
Um, yeah, they're coming up, but I don't think they have the legs to compete with New Zealand and France. So I think that France might pip New Zealand on that first game.
With the home
Although,
advantage.
yeah, so this is the interesting thing, right? France have the home advantage, but New Zealand are absolute beasts when it comes to World Cups. For
Yeah.
some reason, they just show up. They're just always good at a World Cup.
This is true. It's the opposite of Ireland. Ireland every year
Mm,
always so strong and never get past the quarterfinals because they just fumble for some reason. And
yeah.
New Zealand always look they always look good, but they never look strong that strong. And then they always turn up. You're right. They always turn up. So yeah, this is a tough one.
It's a
Oh,
really tough one.
so
So
yeah, but those two have to come out. We don't know what order they're going to be in.
I don't know. I feel like, well, I guess the interesting question is who will struggle more against Italy, New Zealand or France?
Oh, so it's going to come into points difference.
Well, I'm just thinking that, well, potentially, yeah, but
In which case, France will struggle more because they play them more often. So Italy
yeah,
will win them.
I'm happy to go with France top of the group, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Let's go with the home advantage. Let's give them the honor of first place because they've hosted us.
Yeah,
And also, just to put it in context, what is it? Namibia's one of the other team.
yeah.
So famously one of the worst teams in rugby history. One of my favourites for that reason. But this is essentially like putting Mike Tyson in the ring with a 4-year-old disabled child. Is basically what's going to go
Oh
on.
my days.
That's kind of the level we're dealing with of,
Sure.
for instance, skill and ability here. It's going to be a terrifying game to watch. That one.
I
Namibia.
can't wait for New Zealand, Namibia. That's going to be incredible.
I think to this day they still host the record. The last time those two teams played for the worst loss in rugby
Yeah,
history and the biggest win of 107, I think it was to
yeah, it was something
six.
insane. Yeah.
Oh, no one was cheering by the end. I remember it was awful.
Something wild like that, man. Something wild. So New Zealand are easily in second.
Mm-hmm.
Italy, Uruguay, Namibia. I think it's pretty much that order.
I think you're right. Yeah, yeah. I would like a show up from Namibia, but my boys can't make it sadly.
Yeah. Okay, Group B. This is, what some people are calling the group of death. We have South Africa, Ireland, Scotland, Tonga, and Romania.
But can I preface this a little bit
Mm-hmm.
and just say that they picked these teams 4 years ago. So basically, like the week after the old World Cup finished.
Yeah.
And back then, they've changed the rules now, so they're not going to do that for this exact reason. Because you've got three of the top five teams in the entire world
Yeah.
in one group, which is just not fun for anybody to watch, especially if you're a Scotland fan. It's stressful and terrifying. So Scotland used to be world seventh or eighth back at that time. Now we're world five, which is pretty good. We've done well. And we're looking really strong. And the 1 year we look like we could do really well is the 1 year we get lumped in a group with Ireland and South Africa. And then if whoever we beat, if we somehow manage to escape that, go on to face either France or New Zealand.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's awful. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a rough. Let's go from the ground up on this one, shall we?
Okay.
Who do you think's going to come last?
Romania.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, Romania is going to come. They've got some guts, but yeah, they're going to be bad.
Yeah, Romania are coming last. I think it's pretty nailed on that Ireland are coming first. I don't think there's any debate.
So the only thing, I was chatting to my Irish friend about this, Bruce. Shout out to you, Bruce.
Hello, Bruce.
Okay. But he's saying that he's a bit nervous. He knows Ireland are going to get out of the group stages. It's almost guaranteed. But the only thing is Scotland do really well against big teams like Ireland and like South Africa. Like we just have a habit of just, sticking to the man. We're kind of used to that. So that's what worries him a bit. And so if we manage to win one of those two games, so say we beat South Africa, Ireland beats Scotland, and South Africa manages to pull out a win against Ireland, that's not unreasonable. Then it would mean it would come down to points difference against the other two teams, basically, which you never know could happen. But I think let's do this one as the sensible pick for now. We'll do it again as the hopeful pick. Let's put Ireland first and South Africa second, which pains me to say.
Well, this is the interesting thing. I wonder whether Scotland could actually wild card beat South Africa and potentially be looking at taking that second spot.
I think we could. I don't think it's unreasonable to say that because South Africa the past few weeks not been looking tip top. Let's be honest.
They did absolutely trounce Wales.
I mean, Namibia could trounce Wales at this point. That's,
I mean, to be fair, we beat them.
Yeah, you got
we beat them. Yeah.
So it's not unreasonable that we could. South Africa have lost a couple of good players, but they are looking very strong. They're also the reigning champions right now as well. They won last World Cup. So, but Scotland have a good habit of just getting the momentum going, which we have. So momentum's been our favour, and just charging in and just seeing what happens. So, should we put them seconds for fun?
I kind of want to wild card Scotland in at second.
We could do it.
Let's wild card.
As against South Africa, so that's gonna.
Okay, well then the group's decided on the first day as well. All right, here we go. Scotland in at second, South Africa in at third. I think Tonga are going to beat Romania. I think that's pretty nailed on.
It also wouldn't surprise me if we lost to Tonga and got third anyway, but there you go.
Yeah, well.
Tonga are good guys.
We'll see. Okay, Group C. We've got Wales, Australia, Fiji, Georgia, and Portugal.
I love the contrast between the Group of Death, Group B, which has got three of the greatest teams in the world, Tonga, who are amazing on their day, and then you've got
Romania, who are coming up.
Romania, who are coming up, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then this team has got some of the worst teams at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
England and Wales. Oh my! It's like goodness.
Everyone that's kind of on the downturn currently. Wales, Australia, Georgia, Portugal. Georgia are kind of on their way up, so they're okay. Fiji are looking pretty good, as well. So maybe
realistically, the betting man would say one of England, Wales, and Australia, the two of those three will get out. But it also would not be totally unreasonable in my head for Fiji and Georgia to cause some kind of chaos.
I have a feeling that Fiji will beat Wales.
Oh, Can we talk about? Oh, ow! I hit my hand on the desk.
You're right.
I was gesticulating and just whacked my hand. Just explain the Wales thing. So Wales again used to be amazing. Now they've gone through a lot of union problems. They weren't paying people very well. They've lost a
Yeah.
lot of players. Like three of their heavy hitters retired a month before the World Cup starts,
Yeah.
or before the warm up started. So that was bad. So they are now one of the worst teams. Uh, I think it would be between them and Namibia because Namibia at least have a team together. And so Wales are looking like they are might not make it at the group stages. Australia have had a bad run of luck. They've now got Eddie Jones. So for everybody in the world, they want them to lose because of that.
Yes.
Uh, and England, we've already discussed them. But the worrying thing for you guys is you did beat Wales once in your warm up games. You also lost them once, and the time you beat them, they were keeping up with you, which is very concerning
Well,
for you.
this is the stupid thing, right? Is that if both Wales and us get out of our groups, then we won't. The only time we'd have to play them we'd have to play them in the quarterfinals.
Yeah,
So if we both get out of our groups, we'll have to play each other in the quarterfinals.
yeah, it's pretty bad.
So I'm not looking forward to that. I think Fiji can beat Wales
I think
on
let's
the
game
way
by
things
game.
go.
So Fiji could beat Wales. I think Fiji could beat Australia.
I think Fiji could push them really far.
I think England will beat Fiji though because they'll come out of it.
England's not in this group.
Are they not? I thought they were in the group.
No, England's Group D. We've got
Oh,
Wales, Australia, Fiji, Georgia, and Portugal.
I thought Wales, England was in the same group. I'm sorry.
That's
Ignore
right.
everything. But yeah, so I think, okay, the betting man would say that Wales or Australia would make it out.
Yeah.
But I think Fiji's going to make it out second
Really?
to Australia. That's what I reckon.
Oh. Okay.
But
Yeah, I'm happy to go with that. Honestly.
I think Australia will get top of the group, but it won't be like a Ireland and New Zealand and France top of the group. I think it'll be like, oh, we got top of the group. That's amazing. We did not see it coming at all.
Yeah, we barely scraped wins over Georgia, Portugal, and Wales. Somehow we're here. Yeah.
I would really enjoy it if Wales got last
Yeah, me too.
because I think Georgia could really push them and Portugal, who are not that bad.
Let's just remember Georgia have already beaten Wales in this World Cup cycle. Yeah. Last time they played, Georgia won.
So Georgia beats Wales, Fiji beats Wales, Australia beats Wales because Australia have problems, but they're not that bad. And who was the other one? Portugal.
Portugal.
They could have a good day.
Should we put Wales last?
Yes, let's put Wales last. So I think Australia followed by Fiji, and then the rest to you.
Australia, Fiji. I think Georgia will probably beat Portugal.
I think
Actually,
you're right.
Portugal are a little exciting.
But Georgia are in. They've always been on the cusp of the Six Nations, so they're that good.
Yeah, they're
level.
pretty established now as well. So
Yeah,
Georgia,
funding.
Portugal, and then we've shoved Wales at bottom. That's hilarious. That's actually hilarious. Okay. Okay. Group D,
There it
the
is.
final group: England, Japan, Argentina, Samoa, and Chile.
There's some really good teams in there. Japan, one of my favorite teams. Love them.
I think this
love
could be
to-
the closest group of them all.
I think you're right. I think this could be C and D are the hardest ones to predict. I think because you know who's going to be top two or three in the other groups. But this one's so hard to predict. I reckon. Oh, do you think England will make it out?
I think Argentina will beat England for sure.
So last Pumas, they are so good when they want to be. They've beaten Scotland quite a lot back when we were awful.
They beat us last time they played us.
Oh, did they?
At Twickenham. They beat us at Twickenham, yeah.
Is that true? Wow, when was that?
And you know how I know that? I was there. I was so disappointed. I was like, no, the one game.
That's so good. Oh, I'm so happy with that. That's amazing.
Yeah, Argentina beat us at Twickenham, which was not fun.
So okay, let's go through them then. So last Pumas could definitely beat England.
Yeah.
They could do it. Samoa, could they beat England? I think it'd be a good fight, but I think England would come out on top of that
Yeah.
because you've got a lot of Samoan players in England anyway. Um, so you got Samoa would have a good fight but lose. Who else would go up against England? I've got the other teams.
We've got Japan and Chile left.
So Chile, you'd beat Chile, you'd hope.
Yeah.
Japan, no,
They're a
that's the
tricky
one I don't
team.
know. They
They're
are
a
tricky.
tricky
They
team.
are either good enough to beat South Africa, which they did, or they just have a bad day. They're never really in the middle.
Yeah, last time we played them at Twickenham, we dominated pretty well. So
That's crazy.
I'm
Which is
kind
so
of
because they also beat Argentina as well.
yeah.
So they beat Argentina, who beat you, who beat Japan, who beat. It's like a weird
Yeah,
triangle.
exactly. I think Argentina are topping the group.
I think that's a reasonable shout. I think you're right in that.
I
And
think England will
Japan,
scrape second. I think England will scrape it.
I can see that happening. Yeah, I think go
Yeah.
for that.
I think Japan will beat Samoa
Yeah, I think Japan will be P3.
and
Solid
then
P. Samoa,
Samoa, Chile. Yeah.
we're chilling, man.
Okay, on to the quarter finals.
This is the group stage is done. If you lose, you're out. This is it.
Yes, these are the knockout stages now. Quarterfinals. The first one, Australia versus England. I think we'd be lucky.
uh, oh, the thing is that I don't know. I'm not going to say anything in this because I don't want England to win. I also despise Eddie Jones and did not want him to win as well. So I'm going to leave this one in your hands, buddy. You say and do what you want.
So the thing is, right, we have a bit of a knack of somehow beating Australia. We're relatively good at it.
Well,
And even when sorry,
you used to own them. That helps.
yeah, it's also true. We even when we were in the midst of the bad Eddie Jones days, we still managed to win a series against them by the skin of our teeth.
Who won the Ashes recently?
Australia. Well, no, so technically it was a draw, but they keep the urn.
Oh, okay, so you drew that. You
Yeah,
beat the Women's World Cup.
that is true. In the semis, we did do
Good for
that.
you.
So I think England might come out on top if the scores of other sports come into play.
Which, as we all know, it does.
It,
Yes.
it definitely does. I think England might scrape it by like 3 points. It will be something stupid like a Marcus Smith random drop goal in the 79th minute. I think it'll be something stupid like that.
Yeah, you're probably right. I think I think England would. Yeah, I don't mind saying England could scrape that win.
I think we'll scrape a win against Australia. Now we have what the game that we would probably actually want to be the World Cup final itself. Ireland versus New Zealand.
Oh, isn't that awful?
It's so tough.
Um,
This is a quarter final, mate.
which is just awful. The first half of the World Cup is so spicy, and the second half is going to be so miserable.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick Ireland in this. I think they're coming in as the favourites. They're the world number one. They've beaten New Zealand the past twice. They've faced them. The first time they beat them, they just cracked them in the head, and since then they've been able to dominate them. Since they played against England recently, didn't show off any skill against England, but still managed to dominate. Like they held all the cards to the chest, played just a boring ground game so as not to give anything away.
I
And
actually turned that game off.
Yeah,
I turned it off. I was like, I'm not watching this. This is insane.
I watched it in the pub in Scotland to some adoring fans. It was wonderful. So that's good. So I think Ireland, I think despite their World Cup woes, will overcome it this year.
I agree.
Yeah, let's do it. Ireland, that'd be some game though.
Oh, it'll be a hefty game. Okay, we've got an interesting one next. Argentina versus Fiji.
Ooh,
that's gonna be a fun one to watch.
That's gonna be a stalemate, but like a good one, not like a boring one. I think it's going to go back and forth, like attrition.
Yeah.
Do you know, I think Argentina might have the fitness over the island boys. I don't know. I think Argentina
I
might
think they'll have the winner's edge. I think
yeah,
because
stuff there.
Argentina are constantly playing in a tournament with New Zealand and South Africa and Australia, and they're really established now at playing those top teams and being able to beat them. They come over here, they beat us. I think Argentina have that edge, that little bit of an edge.
I think,
To
I think we can give it to them. I think we
yeah,
can give them.
yeah. Argentina into the semi-finals. Now, oh, France versus Scotland.
Oh. Okay, let's look at this. So we have jousted against France in the last month twice.
Yeah.
The first game was their B team that they were putting on, their experimental team against our A squad, which is almost essentially what our World Cup squad will be. And we won pretty well. That's a pretty good game. Enjoyed that game a lot. And then second time it was A squad v A squad. And we lost. We had a lot of penalties we gave away. We gave away 12 penalties, which is a lot. Had a yellow card, which is very bad. Did we have a red card as well?
I can't remember.
Did Xander get a yellow or red?
I can't remember.
Probably yellow. So we got a yellow card. We gave away 12 penalties, and we only just lost, just in the last couple minutes by 3 points. So, I think with the whole, and that was in France too, with no crowd at all, which is amazing. So realistically, probably France. I'm not going to get myself excited, but if we somehow manage to get rid of all those penalties, get our, our situation better, get rid of those issues we had, all of those points disappear, and we could have been quite far ahead.
I think you honestly you could pip it, you could steal it out of nowhere.
Saying that,
If you get it out, if you get out of the group, I think you might have a fair chance at France. But I do think France are taking it.
Yeah, I've always said that if we get out the group stage, we're going to win the World Cup. But in this instance, maybe not. I think France
I
advantage.
think
They've bested New Zealand. They're
yeah,
going to kick our butts. Yeah.
I think France are taking it. Okay. The semi-finals. I can't actually believe that I'm saying this as the semi-final, but England versus Ireland.
That's the semi-final?
Mm.
Well, Ireland are going to win
Yeah, I mean,
points.
there's no need to have a conversation there. Ireland are beating us there.
How much will they win by is the only conversation we're going to have.
Yes, 100%. I'm thinking 20 points easy.
You think 20? I was thinking 40, but yeah, okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although
This is the stupid thing, right? If England get out of the group, they have a relatively straightforward path to the semi-final, which is the really stupid thing about it because we do not deserve that at all. Anyway,
it's the thing. It's Scotland who, not to be, Scottish, but who deserve to basically win this thing, have got
well,
hardest first half. And if we somehow survive that, a fairly simple second half for the semis until we get to the final. Whereas England have these opposite, which very not easy because you're in a bad way, but it's fairly simple first half and an impossible second half.
yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. So the last semi-final, Argentina versus France. Who is going to face Ireland in the final?
It's got to be France. It's got to be
Definitely
France.
France. It's definitely
I mean,
France.
great for Argentina to get that far, but against a home crowd France who are hungry for a final, if not a win, then yeah.
Yeah. Ireland, France final.
Oh,
That's so tough.
I don't know. I don't know. I think we can't call it. I don't know. Can we call that? Yeah, we have to. We have to. Have they played each other recently? Oh, since Six Nations.
It would just be the Six Nations.
Who won? Ireland won that. I think.
I think so.
Yeah, I think Ireland won. Okay. Tell you what. I'm an Irish boy. I'm gonna go for a last minute drop goal win to Ireland. Oh no, last minute try. Let's call it last minute try to Ireland.
I I think I'm content to go with that. I think France will fall at the final hurdle of bringing home their home World Cup.
Damn, which is sad, but also I think Ireland have waited long enough to get this.
Yeah, I agree. So we have predicted Ireland as the winner, and 18% of players also predicted Ireland to win, apparently.
Only 18%. That's interesting. What's the
Yeah.
other?
So the other ones we have France at 26%, New Zealand at 25%, and then Ireland by 18%.
Yeah, I can see all of those being real. How
Yeah.
many picked Scotland, Zach?
Oh, I don't know. It doesn't tell me. It doesn't tell me.
Can we see what Scotland would have to do to win?
Yeah.
If we
I
had an A game, we'd have to beat Ireland, South Africa, New Zealand or France,
yeah.
then Argentina, then France or New Zealand, whoever survives.
Yeah.
So we have to beat New Zealand and France and South Africa and Ireland and Argentina. So basically, the four and Argentina of the best teams in the entire world would
Yeah.
have to beat to get to the final and win.
If you can do that, it will be the most well-deserved World Cup in history, I think, because that is insane.
That's sucky because the thing is, in 4 years' time, when it rolls around again, we're going to be awful. We're not going to be anywhere near it again. Oh, I'm so sad. This is why I'm scared and sad and happy and excited all the time.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, there you go. We have predicted the World Cup. We
That's
think
it.
Ireland are going to bring it home.
Yeah.
There you go.
No need to watch it. We've just done it for you.
Yeah, exactly. I think they could do a good shift.
I think it's
they
going to
really
be
could.
one of the best World Cups for a long time.
I think it's going to be very, very close. Very close.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because you said it. It's
Yes.
remember, was it one of the football World Cups they had Paul the Octopus predicting stuff?
Oh yeah,
That's that, baby.
that's us. We are the octopi.
Everyone's been on tender hooks waiting for what we're going to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Here we are. We've done it. We've
The
done
Rock up the 90 now for Ireland.
it. Well, there you go. World Cup predicted. World Cup predicted. It's nice to be back with Pretend Wisdom. I can't lie.
It is actually quite nice. I had a great time being back with you, buddy.
Me too. Me too.
And
We will do this again.
you back home.
Yes. Yes.
Nice to see you.
Exactly. Yeah. We will definitely do this again very, very soon. We will make this a regular thing because it's way too much fun not to do it.
Absolutely. We might even get the odd one back together again, get the whole band back together again.
Well, I want to do a trip up to Scotland sometime soon. So we'll do like a Pretend Wisdom live up in Scotland.
At the fringe.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
It's like three people in a room and us,
Yeah.
and then what the hell did we pay for to get
That would be awesome. That would
drunk?
be awesome.
You've heard it here first, folks. Next year, the Fringe show's coming out.
Yeah. Pretend Wisdom live at Fringe. Gosh, that'd be hilarious.
Things that happened before. Tell you what, if Scotland win the World Cup, it's happening.
Yes, exactly. If Scotland win the
That's
World
cool.
Cup. Oh, man. Well, we're back. Pretend Wisdom's back, baby.
We're back, baby. We were never gone, but the podcast
Yeah.
world better watch out.
Yeah, we're gonna take it by storm now. It's been honestly, it's been a very long time since our last episode.
Was it what, 4 months or something?
Let's have a it's something like that. Hang on, I
Well,
can check.
August, May,
Yeah, we're at the
June.
end of August now.
August.
Let me
Has
double check. I
it
can
been
tell.
May? Was it April? So it'd be 5 months, 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, it's something crazy like that. Hang on.
Whoa, that's a long time.
That's the longest we've gone without having an episode.
Well,
Can't
technically, we went for 24 years without having one before we so we got a long way to go yet before we break that record.
That's very true. That's very true. Hang on, here we
23.
go.
Not allowed.
Hang on. Yeah, 4 months ago, we had the episode in the living room with the bad boy blend, the rarest whiskey in the
Oh,
world.
yes. What a great one to finish on. That was a great, not finish, but
Yeah,
to
to take a
caveat.
break. Yeah.
And people have been surviving without pretend wisdom for that long.
I don't know how they've done it, honestly.
I don't know how they've done it either. That's impossible. But hey, you don't have to anymore. We're back. It's all
Exactly.
good.
Your lives can be complete now.
Just wait till the live show happens and then you buy tickets.
Exactly. Exactly.
But hey, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks for having me, Zach, in your room on your screen.
Well, I appreciate you having me in your very, very brightly sunlit room on your screen as well.
This is childhood.
The childhood room.
You ever seen Harry Potter? Basically, it's that.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
The
Okay,
play.
quickly, before we end the episode, thoughts on Harry Potter, the movies.
The movies. I
Yeah.
like the CG. It makes me feel like I want to flick some sweet energy. But apart from that, I can leave it or take it, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I'm going to get some enemies from this, but I just really they're not very good.
The acting is garbage.
Yeah, I don't think there's much that's very good about the films. But anyway, what a nice note to end on.
Cancel ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. We'll have the Harry Potter stands coming for us now. There you go.
And look, the hottest take at the last second of the episode.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Controversy at the end. Yeah.
Controversy all the way out, man. That's the way we do it. Lots of love to you and everybody in Guildford.
Thank you. Send my love to all the people in Scotland. Every single person, Euan. Every single person in Scotland. What?
I don't have any friends up here. I just kind of keep to myself mostly.
No, just every single person. I want the entire population of Scotland to know that I have a somewhat small level of affection for them.
Yeah, all the Scottish people listening went, oh.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the reaction I wanted them to have. So it worked.
That's going to be our World Cup.
Yeah, there you go. Well, it's been very nice to be back with Pretend Wisdom, and we will catch you in the next one.